What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 104, and we start today's episode off with a game against Manchester United here away at Old Trafford in the Premier League, coming on the back of that 2-2 draw against Juventus in our Champions League semi-final second leg. That, of course, put us through to the Champions League final, which is going to be against Barcelona. You'll see the episode on Friday. Now taking on United in the Premier League, and check out that United team as well, by the way. Feel free to go back and take a look at that. United's team, just 4 seasons into this Career Mode, has changed massively, and it just looks really weird, doesn't it? It doesn't look like a Man United team at all, but still, taking United sitting in 11th place this season. We, of course, are top of the table, and of course, in the last episode you would have seen as well, after Arsenal slipped up to, funnily enough, Manchester United, we have already been crowned champions with 3 games to go. But of course, there is the small matter of still trying to remain undefeated and wrap up the season undefeated as well and become invincible. So taking on United here away at Old Trafford, still hoping for the result, and the first chance and the first goal will be scored by us as well. Neymar getting the goal, the number 11 scoring goal number 10 this season in minute number 9, making it 1-0 to Watford. And I don't know what Phil Jones was trying to do there. As a defender, when the ball's going close to out of play, you know, it's so common to see a defender shield his body around the ball to try and block off any kind of interaction between an opposition player and the ball to try and save it from going out of play. But Phil Jones, instead of shielding his body and shepherding the ball out of play, just decided to leave the ball and allow Lloyd Isgrove to drill in across just before it crossed the line, went out for a goal kick, picked out Neymar, and Neymar opened the scoring. So terrible defending there by Phil Jones, and it's United 0, Watford 1. United didn't have the best of first halves, really. Only one proper chance that fell there to Daley Blind. That shot went harmlessly wide of the post and behind for a goal kick. And just past the Almaty, another good chance here. The Darmian shot from this corner, which wasn't really dealt with by Butland, went harmlessly wide of the post and behind for a goal kick, just like Blind's shot. So still 1-0 in this game to Watford. We had a good chance to double our lead here in the 70th minute. Lloyd Isgrove causing problems all game long, crossed the ball into the centre, picks out David Alaba, and if it wasn't for a great save by Diego Alves, our left back would have got goal number 2 for the season. Really good save there by the goalkeeper, and it was still 1-0. But in the 87th minute, how about this? Phil Jones launches the ball forward, and Jack Butland races out of his goal, heads the ball forward, only as far as the Welshman Gareth Bale, who plays it through towards Paul, who chips Butland, who's off his line, of course, and out of position. But thankfully for us, and thankfully for Butland, Hero Redeval gets back and heads it off the line and behind for a corner to save a certain equaliser and ensure that we would indeed get the 3 points. So final score, United 0, Watford 1. But that would have been an unbelievably disastrous way to end up failing to win this game and seeing United claim a point and see us drop 2, because that was just, I mean, it was such a long ball forward by Jones, and Butland comes for it. I don't even think he needed to come for it. I think he could have left the ball until it go out for a goal kick. Instead, he comes flying out of his goal. I didn't hold down triangle. He just decided to come out for it naturally. Heads the ball straight to Gareth Bale. Bale finds Paul, and thankfully, Redeval heads that chip shot off the line. So it would have been a disastrous way to throw the game away. We did win the game, though, by a goal to 0. And we take on Swansea here for the second of the final 3 games in the Premier League this season. And to be honest, we haven't really been threatened too many times this season to see our undefeated record go. There's only been a couple of games I can pick out this season where I felt like we may end up losing the game and not stay undefeated. One of those games was away at Bournemouth early on in the season, and the other game was against Swansea as well, where we trailed Swansea by a goal to 0 until the final 10 minutes when Marco Ryan Tyler won a penalty and Mario Balotelli converted. How we lost that game, the undefeated record wouldn't be here, but instead we drew that game, taking on Swansea at home this time at Vicarage Road. The first chance and the first goal will be scored in the 11th minute by number 11, who gets goal number 11. Neymar with a nice alliteration there and a nice finish as well. Takes it around the goalkeeper, puts it into the back of the net, and does indeed get goal number 11 for the number 11 in minute 11. So 1-0 to Watford, Neymar with the goal. Neymar, a new signing for this season, of course, came in on a pre-contract on a free transfer. We can't really complain about his ability this season. He's done quite well for us, scored a couple of nice goals as well. But 11 goals, and 2 of which have come in the last 2 games. I'll be honest, it's not been as good as I was hoping this season, but what I will say in his defence, I suppose, is that my problem this year in FIFA is that I just don't score enough goals, really. I'm someone who's quite good defensively, as seen here by another clean sheet, 2 in a row, but I'm just not good when going forward. And it's another win for us. We win the game by a goal to 0. A pretty uneventful game, to be honest, but Neymar opening the scoring and seeing the goal be the only one in the game. Just like in the United game, taking the lead early in the first quarter of an hour and then holding on for that 1-goal lead. Defensively this season, we have been very solid. You've seen quite a few times this season in games I've given man of the match to centre-backs. First game, he was Redeval's man of the match. Second one was to Joe Davis. You know, defending this season has not been a problem for me, and I've been speaking to you guys on Twitter and YouTube comments, and just in general this season about FIFA 16 and what you guys like about the game. And a lot of you guys have the same opinion as me, is that it's quite easy to defend this year, but going forward can be quite tricky. And that's exactly what I found in this season, at the very least in this career mode. I haven't really scored too many goals, but we have been very solid at the back. We've only conceded 13 Premier League goals in this season so far. 37 games in, only 13 goals conceded. That's just ridiculous, really, isn't it? And we're going to set a new Premier League record, or so you'd think so, for the fewest amount of goals conceded in a Premier League season. Chelsea, of course, have the record. So we're going to take the record from Chelsea and be the tightest defence in Premier League history this season. But, to be honest, it's just quite frustrating, because I want to score more goals and I want the games to have more goals. You guys can see more chances and stuff, but I'm not capable of doing it, really. But still, following that, a couple of youth players got promoted from the academy. This guy looks really good. Quillan Hamilton, an exciting prospect, 66 overall, 4-star skills as well, and some very nice technical stats. He looks like a really solid F midfielder. We'll be keeping an eye on him for the Canada side of the story anyway, for many years to come, at least we'd certainly hope so. But still taking on Southampton here for the third and final game of today's episode. It's the Premier League final day. Oddly enough though, it was the final day for us, but some teams, or most teams I should say, had already played their final fixture. Not us though, taking on Southampton for our final game of the season. Decided to rest the entire team ahead of the Champions League final on the weekend. The FA Cup final, of course, is to come, but by this time in the game we'd already played it. But still, the Champions League final to come on the weekend. Thought I'd rest the entire team. Jeremy Djokovic made one of the saves of the season and then gave away a penalty in a space of 60 seconds. He may not have been complaining about it because he's a really nice guy, but the fact of the matter is, I was on the touchline squaring up to the fourth official, because what is this a penalty for? Tell me who Djokovic has fouled there. What on earth is that? Unbelievable. He couldn't believe it. Again, he's a really nice guy, so he's not going to complain about it, but I could not believe that was a penalty. And Southampton, through Dusan Tadic from the spot, had a chance to make it 1-0, and on the final game of the season, with us trying to stay undefeated, had a chance to make it 1-0, but fortunately for us, the Serbian Tadic turns out to be just as nice as a guy as Jeremy Djokovic is, because he's been watching my career mode videos, and he knows that when we get a debatable penalty, we chip it down the middle. He does the exact same thing, but he takes it one step further. He balloons the ball over the bar, and it's still Southampton 0, Watford 0. So justice is done, justice served. It's still goalless, and rightfully so. How that was given as a penalty, I have absolutely no idea. We've seen some dodgy penalty decisions this series, but I think that's the one that tops a lot in my opinion. But anyway, it's still 0-0. But in the 23rd minute, how about this? Of course, this had to happen. Troy Deeney, who I started in this game, getting his first Premier League start, and gave him the captain's armband. I was excited to see him lift the trophy come the end of the season, so I was thinking to myself, this will be a really nice send-off for the Watford captain. He's through and through. He loves the club. He is Watford through and through, that's for sure. He loves Watford. He loves his time here at Vicarage Road. He stayed here throughout the entire series, even though he's been phased out of the team a little bit, as there are better strikers in the team now. I've kept him here because I like him. I want to stay loyal to the Watford faithful and show that just because he's not as good as some of the strikers here, he's not going to be put on a scrap heap and sold. He's still here at Watford. I thought I'd let him be captain for the final day so he could lift the Premier League trophy. And what happens 23 minutes in? He gets himself an injury. Of course that had to happen. He's out for 3 months as well, funnily enough. And Troy Deeney, on the final day, all he had to do in this 90 minutes was not get injured. Not get injured. I don't care if he doesn't score or not. So long as he just stays on the pitch for 90 minutes, that's fair enough. He gets to lift the trophy. But instead, in the first half, he gets an injury. He's out for 3 months. I just thought that was absolutely hilarious and typical my luck. So what I decided to do is change the team around so I can make Loftus-Cheek the captain. So come the end of 90 minutes, Ruben gets to lift the trophy, and I guess in a way it's kind of fitting because he was the guy that came into the first season, and for the first 2 or 3 was regarded as a bit of an icon. So Loftus-Cheek gets to lift the trophy. I wanted it to be Troy Deeney. I did. I wanted to see Deeney lift the trophy, but I mean, he asked the physio when he came off, when he was stretched off, he said, "Can I at least lift the trophy?" He was like, "Nah, mate, don't want to see you get injured again, hurt your back or whatever." But still, Loftus-Cheek lifted the trophy. Fair enough. It's annoying it couldn't have been Deeney like I originally planned, but either way, it's Loftus-Cheek who lifts it, and I just thought it was so funny. Like, all Deeney had to do was not get injured, and he gets injured. But the game did finish 0-0. It was an uneventful game. It sort of summed up the season, really, uneventful, and I hate to say that too, because we may have stayed undefeated for the entire season, completed another aim. We are the Invincibles this year. It's annoying how so few things have happened really this year in terms of good games. But still, as you can see, confirmation of Deeney's injury. Out for 3 months. Couldn't help but laugh at the time. Just typical my luck. Confirmation of Deeney's injury there. And of course, the final league table: 38 games played, 24 wins, 14 draws. So Not as good as a record as Arsenal's when they were undefeated. They had 26 wins and 12 draws, but either way, just remaining undefeated was the most important thing, and getting a Premier League title. Really happy with that, and of course setting a new Premier League record as well for fewest goals conceded with just 13. So really pleased with that. Balotelli was the top scorer this season with just 15 goals. Not the best of seasons then for goals this season in the Premier League, and Butland got the most clean sheets with 24. 24 out of 38, crazy. Top assists went to Shaqiri, if I remember correctly. No one from Watford, but either way, most important thing was indeed the fact we did indeed win the Premier League. Really pleased with that, and fantastic to know we did it undefeated as well. But that is going to be the episode though, guys, so thank you very much for watching the video. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you enjoyed today's episode of Career Mode, then please leave likes. That's of course much appreciated. It really helps my channel out, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon, which will be the FA Cup final against Newcastle United coming out tomorrow afternoon.